the number of opportunities that will come your way will also depend on how diverse your skill set is. So one way to really survive in this industry is to be very flexible.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Kaka Computer. I'm Bryl, and I'm joined today by Fran, Sam, and Cleo. And in this episode, we'll be talking about your first real programming language. Wow, real
May
programming
fake
language.
pala.
So, sige, anyone can jump in. No? So, can you talk about your first real programming language? Ano yung, sige, let's say first programming language that you've learned in general. Ano guys?
C.
Okay, C.
Ano?
Same, actually.
Comsci. 101. See, but in a real, hindi kasi siya ginamit in real programming lang. In real project kasi it's just learned in school. I mean, C is running many firmwares right now. But what I really used for first is JavaScript kasi full stack siya. You can have JavaScript on the back end, which is Node.js, and you can have like JavaScript from front end frameworks like React, Angular, and Vue. So definitely, it's very popular as well right now. If you're a fan of like, yung developer survey ng Stack Overflow, it's actually like still one of the top programming
Mhm.
language. So
Next to Python.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
What's Fran?
As for me, technically, it's my second kasi sa second job ako nagkaroon ng web development. Okay. So, only on my second job where I use na hindi proprietary language because the first one was proprietary. So, I'm not gonna talk about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk on the second one, the actual real one, which is PHP because I joined a web development company and PHP has been around. It's actually, I'm not gonna say it's the first, but I'm pretty sure it's the first
It's been
programming
around for a long
language.
time.
Yeah, for web development. And yeah, the company I joined, freelancer.com, is still using PHP when I joined. Yeah. And yeah, it's awesome, I would say. And actually, the thing is, it's not enough because I need to learn JavaScript as well as Cleo told us because I needed to code in the front end as well. So PHP wasn't enough just for doing the actual web development stuff. I needed to learn PHP first for the back end and then JavaScript for the front end.
Yeah. How about you, Sam?
Okay. So the first programming language I actually learned school was C. Siyempre, kasi computer science. So typically it's C naman. Pero first real world, well, I'm in my first job pa lang. So first real world programming language I've used is Python. Mainly because I do data engineering. So Python is typically used for a lot of data work. So, yeah.
And Python, I believe, is easiest for beginners to get into because of the way its
Yes.
syntax works. It's similar to similar to English lang.
Yeah.
Yun. Pero yun, ako transitioning to Python was quite difficult at first. Kasi yun nga, walang semicolons. You have to have
Really?
proper
Interesting.
indentations. Ganun. And yeah, like among you guys, I started with C then. And well, with C, you really can't build actual projects outside from terminal-based projects. But it's a good programming language foundation since it teaches you stuff that are normally done in the background by other programming languages. So, like let's say with JavaScript, you don't have to handle memory management. It does that in the background, but in C, you have to manually
Memory
do-
allocation.
yeah,
Memalok.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so when you
Pointers.
so when you allocate memory, you also need to remember to also free that memory up. Otherwise, it's gonna bloat up your program. So these are practices na I feel like beginner programmers who just jump into newer technologies fail to realize. And then well that's not a bad thing, pero magandang foundation siya for beginners. Kasi kung yun yung basehan natin, why not learn COBOL? So,
Assembly. Mas
oo.
madugo yun.
Yeah.
Assembly, Jesus.
So, you guys, ano yung so we talked about our first programming language. How about your second and how is it different from the first one you've learned? Say, let's start with Cleo.
Python yung second ko kasi bida-bida sa PyTorch tsaka sa TensorFlow. Tapos may NumPy kasi tsaka scikit-learn, and it has lots of libraries for data science and machine learning at that time. So how did I transition? Also like a huge adjustment kasi same sentiments with Bryl na it's very very readable.
Yeah.
If I may say. So yeah, at the end of the day, the documentations are there, the Stack Overflow, like help is there. So, naka-adjust din naman.
How about you, Fran?
Okay. Yeah, I already sold my second language, which is JavaScript, technically.
So how is it
But-
from PHP to JavaScript?
Yeah, the syntax. I guess I didn't do much PHP, so forgive me. But yeah, the syntax is not that far. Yeah, because it looks archaic. When I say archaic, yeah, it was meant for the web, something like that. Yeah, and JavaScript is also meant for the web, so it looks very similar. But yeah, it's different in many ways possible. But I also dabbled into Python when I went to my second team because how it works in my job before was you go to a SWAT team, you do PHP and then JavaScript, and you get assigned to an actual team. That will be your main team until you move again. But yeah, in that new team, I use Python, Flask API, yeah, very old, and then we use React because I finally had the reins. So I said, let's use React for the JavaScript because there is no JavaScript framework yet. Yeah, and then yeah, it was very fun, I would say.
Yeah, so you've successfully transitioned now from
Yeah.
So do you miss the dollar signs?
Yeah.
The ano yun, yung echo, ganyan.
Yeah, it's very hazy in my memory now actually because I haven't used PHP in a while. It's often I've used Python and JavaScript moving forward.
Yeah. Pero I'm just gonna address the misconception that PHP is no longer around. It's still very much.
Yeah, it's very
It's
very
very
much
popular.
there.
WordPress.
Yeah.
WordPress
Oh.
is WordPress
Yeah.
is in
Yeah.
PHP.
And I'm gonna make up numbers, but I guess WordPress makes up 80% of the web
Yes.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So if you learn PHP, you're basically can do things in WordPress, create themes and so on.
Yeah, and I don't think we're using pure PHP anymore. Maybe use Laravel
Yep.
moving
Yep.
forward, like or Slim,
Or
a
Symfony.
microframe. Yeah, or Symfony. I think Lumen got deprecated recently, so
Yep.
yeah.
Interesting.
How about you, Sam?
Okay.
From C to Python, how was it like?
Actually, for me, going from C to Python, my biggest surprise was, oh my gosh, it's so much easier to read.
Yes.
Like, parang going from C na ang haba. I remember my projects before. Actually, we learn in school, we learn Java pa before we learn Python. They don't actually teach Python anymore just because they say like parang, oh, we'll teach you the harder languages. You'll probably pick up Python on your own. And I remembering that my pinky did not hurt as much because I didn't have to press like shift as many times. I don't have to do all of the like writing as much just because Python was so much shorter and simpler to code. So ako, I found the transition a lot easier.
Yeah. Yun. So, for beginners, no, what do you think? Do you think na yung first language nila will impact their career later on, or is it irrelevant?
Your first language?
Yes.
Not really. Like kasi one major mistakes of junior devs is they get attached to the language.
True.
And then they think that it's applicable to everything. Like let's make a IO intensive application. Let's also make a computationally expensive application with that same language. When in fact, each programming languages have their own strengths and weaknesses. So they become fanatics of their first programming language, which probably all of us will have to like go through. But at some point, you will have to learn how to detach. So yeah, it could affect because the number of opportunities that will come your way will also depend on how diverse your skill set is. So one way to really survive in this industry is to be very flexible.
That's true. And if you're looking for getting a job right after college, no, pick the most popular programming language.
Yes.
Kasi there's a reason for that popularity, and a lot of employers are using that language. So if you want to get hired right away and you want to have more job opportunities, then go for the most popular. Well, there's nothing wrong naman with bit niche, pero yun, medyo hindi ka those opportunities are not as frequent as they seem. Ganun.
Yeah, and often than not, you're not just gonna use one language.
Yes.
Yeah, like 100%. That's gonna be true. And maybe I don't know in other industries. Maybe in data engineering, it's just one language. But I'm pretty sure there's R2. But yeah, at least in my case, I have like four programming languages I'm using in my practice day to day.
White Cloak Technologies is a custom software development company. They build mobile and web applications. They work with leading brands in banking and real estate. Visit their website at www.whitecloak.com to know more.
Yeah, and right now, no, with the advancements in AI, I feel like getting attached to languages and their syntaxes are no longer being relevant. Kasi it's really, ano na lang eh, it's really easy to convert languages to another. What's really important though is yung fundamentals mo. You understand basic functions, variables,
Data
loops.
struct.
Oo, ganun. Kasi those are programming language agnostic eh. So regardless of anong programming language yung gagamitin mo, those concepts are still there, and you should have a solid understanding of those concepts kasi like most of us, diba, parang transitioning from PHP to JavaScript, from C to Python, um, syntax lang nagbabago, pero the loops, the
Fundamentals,
iterations
yeah.
The
are
design patterns as well.
oh yeah, yun. The object-oriented programming, those concepts still remain the same. Now, going back to programming languages. What is what programming languages do you dislike the most using?
I would say any recursive programming languages. I can't name
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't name them anymore because it's back in college. But yeah, thinking in recursions really hurts my brain. Yeah.
For me, assembly kasi na-try namin mag-code for PIC 1684 na and we have to like kailangan naming i-dedicate ng number of memory for this variable. And then
True,
we have
true.
to like have the chip and then load it in a loader program. It's sobrang hassle. And then you also have to like make sure that the code is really compatible with the hardware that you're going to apply it to. So I actually hated every part of it. But it's a good experience.
Yeah, I can remember just creating a function. There is this
Yes.
whole preamble just to
Ye-
create a function, right?
Yes.
In assembly.
Buti na lang, din na yan tinuturo ngayon.
Tinuturo pa rin.
Tinuturo pa rin ba?
Yeah, because I was gonna say, that's my most hated one also. I did not like
But
it at all.
good siya for aspiring firmware engineers, ah. It's really good. But for those who are going to app development or DevOps or security, and your cup of tea, guys. Yeah.
Ayun, so I guess yung lesson, stay away from assembly. so
Ang
so
hirap. Ay, ang hirap talaga ng assembly. I don't like it. Not at all.
ayun. So when you stick with a programming language, how do you essentially master a programming language per se? How do you say na I'm proficient in this programming language? How do you know na I'm okay na to, ilagay ko sa resume na proficient in JavaScript, ganyan? What are your basis for that?
Okay. I actually look for that from applicants. Yeah, like they know JavaScript. And I actually ask them what are the pitfalls of JavaScript. Right. So part of the understanding of a programming language is, of course, you know the syntax, but to go beyond that, you should know the pitfalls of a specific programming language. Like JavaScript can be prone to, there are mutations involved. There is global variables if you use var and all those other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm sure even in Python, if you know how team sort works, for example, you may be able to explain that further and master your programming language. I mean, there's even books about you don't know JavaScript, and there's like, I don't know, 5 volumes of that. Yeah. And yeah, just knowing the fundamentals and then the mastery, the pitfalls and everything. Yeah, that can increase your mastery.
So that's how you gauge applicants on their understanding of a programming language. How about you, Cleo?
I think say along the lines na you would know when to use a programming language in what project. Kasi it's really important that you master the like identifying the technology in an architecture diagram. Because that it's very critical moving forward kasi that would also determine the scalability and the high availability of that specific product. So you need to be very precise and need to like be sure of like what you're going to use on a certain product. So yeah, that's the mastery part in there. Like alam mo saan siya magsha-shine, alam mo saan siya hindi magsa-shine.
So like this programming language is more appropriate for this part of the process, ganyan, kasi that's
Yes.
where it stands out.
Mm.
Ganyan. Sige. So now let's talk about programming languages na gusto nyo namang aralin. You haven't had any experience with it, but it's something that interests you. Let's start with ano.
Actually, I'm
Sa
thinking pa nga eh. Parang I've been very happy kasi with Python recently na parang I haven't really thought about like anything
So you
else.
use Python for everything.
Yeah, no, kasi like since I work with data, it's really like purely Python. That's what we're using now. Pero if I were to look for another programming language, mm, maybe something more on. Actually, wala akong maisip. Happy na talaga ako with it.
Oo.
Pero maybe like if there were other things I wanted to learn, maybe like cloud providers, trying out different cloud
Mhm.
providers. Not so much na the programming language side. Maybe more on the architectural side na.
And I think a lot of data scientists and ano use Python a lot kasi because
Yeah.
of its extensive libraries eh. Ako
Yeah.
I use din Python for work din eh.
Okay, okay.
So, yan. How about you?
Rust.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say the same thing. Same.
you've heard of C? Rust is here. Yeah, so Rust is almost like C, right? I would say you still need to manage your own memory. You still need to free it, but I heard it's better.
And it's faster though.
Yeah, it's faster. Just heard. I haven't really tried it, but most of the modern bundlers right now in JavaScript, as for example, is using Rust, like Vite, I believe. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just very curious what are the possibilities in using this very programming language, because it looks like there's a trend that there's a problem, you convert it to Rust, it's magically faster. Right?
How about you, Cleo?
Go.
Go.
Kasi I've been really a Node developer and a Python developer. So my devs mentioned that it's much faster because it's a compiled language.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm just curious. I haven't really actually coded in Go yet, so I'm very much looking forward.
Actually,
to that.
they're rewriting TypeScript right now in Go eh. So, hindi na siya dadaan sa node bundler. So, yung results say it's much faster and the entire TypeScript team have very promising results.
Ooh, interesting.